Nothing to see here, please.
Entertainment back with another movie review, and we have got The Naked Gun from the Files of Police Squad. And this is a really funny movie, guys. Big Leslie Nielsen, comedic fucking genius, this guy, man. Some of the comedy in this is brilliant. It's just like self-aware. There's like obvious ones, like they say stuff, and then like they do like the most obvious, like they take the things too literal, and it's just brilliant. But we kick off this movie. Big Leslie Nielsen, Big Frank, he steps in, basically this big world leader meet that's basically they're all going against America. We've got like Gorbachev in there. We've got fucking Saddam Hussein, all these other mad he goes out in bars and I just find it fucking hilarious. And then we get the intro to the movie, of like the police siren, but then it drags, but it's like a funny drag because it starts going into people's houses and chasing people, which I thought was pretty funny. And I did not know this, guys. Like, I've seen a lot of this movie before. Don't know if I've seen the movie before, but I've seen like most of the clips. But I did not know Nordberg was O.J. Simpson, which I thought was pretty funny. Like, but basically he walks in this boat called I Love You. They're from Panama. There's a big drug meet going down, and then they basically fire 6 rounds into him, like basically everyone. But it's funny because he doesn't sell getting shot. He sells like what happens to him after. Like, he knocks his head on the door. The window comes down on his fingers. Then he finally like falls out and into the sea, which is funny. But it turns out he's alive, and who is this got to deal with? So basically we've got Frank and big Captain Ed on the scene. But it's funny, as they're getting off the plane, he hinks at all the paparazzi and all the things for him, but it turns out Weird Al was on the plane. So yeah, Weird Al Yankovic makes an appearance in this movie, which I liked. But basically then we get this like really funny scene with the mayor, who is Tony Soprano's mother. Obviously not in this movie, but that's who the actress that plays her, Nancy Marchand. She's the mayor, and then basically Frank leaves his mic on while he goes to the toilet, and it just drags and drags and drags. He's like, we're gonna look after the Queen, even though it may seem like the stupidest fucking idea to us. We're gonna look after, because the Queen is paying a visit. But basically, in the build up to that, Frank is trying to figure out who shot his partner Nordberg, which leads him to Vincent, who basically like runs the pier and shit. And then basically it's funny as fuck, like. He's interrogating this guy down at the pier, but usually the cops would bribe someone to tell them stuff, but the guy's bribing him to tell him stuff. Oh, it was just fucking hilarious. And then even when he parks his car at the police station, the airbag goes off and it starts driving by itself. He's like, did anyone see that license plate? Give me a 20 on that license plate. And it's his own car. Oh man, the comedy is just fucking brilliant. And then basically Vincent is the one, and he's plotting something major, which is basically kill the Queen at this baseball game. But then his like assistant Jane goes to help Frank get all the employee records, and he looks up her skirt while she's up the ladder. He's like, nice beaver, and he's like, oh thank you, I had it stuffed. And then it turns out it's a fake beaver, which I thought was pretty hilarious, this scene. But man, it's just full of great scenes. And then basically Frank is about to visit Nordberg in the hospital because he's been given 24 hours, or else they think Nordberg's in on it, because that's what the guy doing at the dock said. But as he goes in, the doctor's being mind controlled by Vincent's wee hing to kill Nordberg to keep the secret, obviously. But then Frank catches him, and then we get this chase in the most iconic scene, basically, where the doctor guy ends up like blowing up in the fireworks factory. He's like, nothing to see here, please disperse. And there's like fucking people on fire and bombs going off behind them. Brilliant, guys. I thought that was absolutely fantabulous. And then we get another real pretty funny and iconic scene with Frank and Jane get it on. But the funny thing about this is fucking they're like in fully sized fucking condoms, which I thought was pretty funny. But what jobbers wear condoms anyway? But fuck man, we get basically a montage between him, Big Frank, and Jane. I'm into something good, tell me something, tell me I'm into something. That song, brilliant. That's basically what ends the movie as well. But basically we get the big baseball affair. Frank is basically the umpire in the baseball game, and he starts calling all these dodgy fucking things, and he's trying to figure out who the fucking person is that's going to shoot the queen. And there was also a really funny scene where he thought Vincent was going to shoot the queen at the dinner, and then he spears the queen onto the table. Oh, it was funny. And her lingerie ends up wrapped around him. Oh, he's like, I can't believe why the press have taken a hold of this. It's disgusting. And then he finds his evidence. He's like, oh, there's the missing evidence from that case. And he's like, Frank, he got the chair 2 years ago. So, I mean, another brilliant fucking scene. But yeah, then basically for the finale, he's patting down all these guys, but he doesn't get enough, and he's basically having to like make fake decisions in the match, so therefore the match keeps on getting dragged out. But then one of the players is mind controlled. He's heading towards the queen. Frank shoots the wee dart into him that disables him, but it hits some fat woman up in the stands. She crashes down, hits your big man, basically kills him. Vincent is then confronted by Frank. Frank shoots a dart into him. They're like, you killed him. He's like, no, it's just a dart. And then he falls off the balcony and gets run over by like all these things, a steamroller, a marching band. And then fucking Big Ed says to him, the same thing happened to my father, which is brilliant. But then it turns out that Jane has got a mind control, but Frank manages to talk her out of it by saying, I love you, basically. And then, yeah, they hug. They're going to get married. And then we get the end of Something Good finale. And, yeah, that's basically how this movie ends. And you know what? It's a fucking... Like, you'd think maybe a comedy for, like, the year, like, 1988 would be a bit outdated. But it's fucking brilliant, man. It honestly is. It blows today's shit out the water. It's kind of like... It reminds me of fucking Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but is that because it's like a police thing? Potentially, but you know what, guys? It's a great wee movie. I recommend it. It's only about 85 minutes long. I'll give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. I mean, the plot isn't the greatest, but I mean, it's a comedy. You're not expecting the greatest plot.